Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Today, Sam?
Thanks, Andy. And on the pundit panel today, Mary Lau of the Retailers Association, Dick Gammick, the district attorney, and Barbano on the barbed wire. It's all coming up on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week and still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV park.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of Firestone roofing products for any type of roof, from commercial to industrial and residential. With a Firestone roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
Feel it, the magic is everywhere. The action, the style, the food, the flair. Play with us, stay with us in Reno, say El Dorado, and live the excitement. El Dorado, Reno shining star. Live the excitement.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
After 3 terms as Attorney General, Frankie Sue Del Papa departed the office. She was replaced by Brian Sandoval, a Republican who has a fire for this job.
Welcome, General
Thank you.
Sandoval.
Thank you
for being with us. I guess the first thing I want to ask you about is you ran for this office. Have you found there's a big difference between what you thought you were running for and what you found as you took office?
Well, as I was telling Sam earlier, it's exceeded all my expectations. I mean, every day it's very busy, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Oh, okay, let's get to the serious questions here. Yucca Mountain, do we have a prayer?
We have much more than a prayer. Our office is representing the state in this fight. We'll be going to court in September of this year. For the first time, we'll be on an even playing field with the Department of Energy and with the federal government, and I'm very, very optimistic about our chances.
Okay. Are you going to be arguing that case yourself, or do we have a specialist that...
The answer is both. I will be participating, but we do have outside counsel, some of the best nuclear lawyers in the country, if not the best.
Oh, great.
All right. Realistically, at this point, Spencer Abram is complaining that with the amount of money that Senator Reid is letting through his committee, that they're going to be way behind. And isn't that one of the best ways that we can stop this, is just delaying?
Well, I think that's part of the strategy, and I applaud Senator Reid for what he's done in that regard. But our strategy is to bring the best possible legal attack that we can, and that's exactly what we're doing.
I wanted to ask you, I know that a number of bills were requested by your predecessor, and there's one pertaining to the Public Utilities Commission. Are you going to be pursuing any sort of legislation pertaining to the Public Utilities Commission?
Well, I'm working with our consumer advocate, Timothy Hay, on that bill. That bill has not been released. It's a bill draft request, and it has not come out, so we can't specifically comment on that. But another bill that will affect perhaps the Public Utilities Commission is our Do Not Call bill, which in other words is if you don't want to be called by those telemarketers at night right in the middle of dinner, you can put your name on a list, and the telemarketers will be prohibited from calling you.
You're also involved with terrorism bills.
Yes.
Terrorism bills make some people very happy and make some people very concerned. They can be a loss of privacy. What's your position?
Well, there's a real delicate balance because, of course, we want to provide the utmost protection for the citizens of the state of Nevada. On the other hand, we don't want to infringe on the First Amendment and people's constitutional right to free speech. We want to have open government. Our office is very proud of our record on fighting for open government. So we're trying to find that balance. But given this day and age and the circumstances that we're in, I mean, we have to be very creative and be very careful about which way we go.
One of the ideas that's being talked about is to require tapes of closed meetings that would then be put on file at your office so that there could be a check on the balance of government, so that in case somebody said, no, that isn't really what happened to that meeting, somebody could go in, listen to the tape, and determine whether or not there had been a violation. In the same way with public records, that there would be a sunset put on them so that at some point they would be released. How do you feel about that?
Well, and that's something I wasn't aware of, but it's something that I consider. You know, and again, that may achieve that balance of, again, giving the protection at the time for security purposes, but at the same time, if there's a need for access and review of what was conducted or the business that was conducted behind closed doors, it's still available.
Yesterday on the program, Senator Reed was talking about how the insurance companies are basically staying away from the whole medical malpractice issue and not coming to the table. How do you feel about this? And he was recommending perhaps new antitrust legislation.
Well, that was an issue that I dealt with as a legislator, and it's a historical issue. I believe our office currently is doing an investigation in terms of one insurance company and its antitrust practices, so that falls within the jurisdiction, and certainly if there is a company or companies that are manipulating the market, then we'll go after them.
So you would, if Senator Reed gets this bill passed, you would be supportive of enacting that at the state level? And
yes, I mean, and again, in the bottom line, if there are practices going on out there, if there's conduct on there that manipulates the market, then again, it's our job as the protect the public. Okay,
and one last thing on the get back to the telemarketing do not call list quickly. Once that bill is passed, how will people affect that? Would they call your office or?
Yes, our office will be responsible for handling it, and one of the issues that will have to be determined is there may be a very, very small fee of $5 to be put on that list. But once you're put on that list, if somebody calls, then it's our office's job to prosecute the offender.
I have one last question also. You have a Hispanic heritage. You have now become the Attorney General of the state of Nevada. The Hispanic population of Nevada is growing, but it doesn't seem to be involved in the political process as a whole. How do you feel about this, and where do you think it's going to go, and how are you going to help? And you have, of course, 30 seconds to answer.
Thank you. I'm involved already, and I think the Hispanic population is involved a lot more than people realize. And when I was on the campaign trail, I devoted a lot of time in the Hispanic community throughout the state, and there's an organization that is being developed right now, and I think you'll really see a lot of participation in the future, and you'll see a lot more Hispanic candidates.
Thank you very much for being here,
You're welcome.
And we'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. 7 award-winning dining choices. Experience the Atlantis Seafood Steakhouse tonight. Winner of Wine Spectator's Award of Excellence. The local's choice for food and fun, Atlantis. Atlantis. At Sushi Club, everybody's family. That's what makes dining here so much fun. The sushi is consistently better, the atmosphere is great, and the service is wonderful.
Welcome to the Bigger and Better Sushi Club. Come in for our delicious daily specials.
When you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
Hi, may I please make an appointment?
What if you called for help and no one answered?
Hi, I'd like to make
What if that help was for your unborn child? Lawsuit abuse has created a healthcare crisis, making it difficult for women to find doctors, driving good doctors out of Nevada and leaving us without healthcare. We're protecting the doctors of Nevada, and we need your help. Call 800-784-4730 now. Tell your legislator to support Keep Our Doctors in Nevada.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Bernie Anderson teaches government at Sparks High. In his spare time, he's chairman of the Assembly Judiciary Committee, and he joins us this morning.
Thank you for being with us, Bernie.
Good morning. How are you this morning, Sam?
Pleasure to see you, Bernie. I'm fine.
I want to first ask you about a bill that passed the Assembly unanimously yesterday, having to do with spam in your email.
Sure.
Everybody with computers will be interested in this.
Well, the spam bill hopes to raise the question about advertising, unwanted advertising, that comes into our computers. It raises the penalty for people who send it out, and we're trying to standardize this throughout the country so that an advertisement has a lead with the letters ADV or advertising right in it, so that you can use a filter to get rid of it if you
Or delete it right off.
Or delete it right off. Right.
Now, but there's a penalty in there of what, $50?
$50
or $500.
Depends upon whether they left it off and whether you were trying to get it removed. How the process in terms of whether it was a purposeful act, but by raising the standard to $500, it was hopeful that more people would be willing to come into the penalty is great enough now that we might be able to get a little bit of enforcement here, which is the big question that many of the members had yesterday, whether it was really going to be enforceable.
Well, one of the things that husbands were explaining to their wives a couple of years ago was why they were getting ads for Viagra and all kinds of sex ads, and now the women are getting the same kinds of ads. Is there anything that can be done about these?
Well, those are the very things that we're trying to address. I serve on a panel from the Attorney General's office on computer crime, and this is a national problem, and the states are trying to get together to eliminate it on a state-by-state basis. We think that there is something we're going to be able to do about it by identifying these kind of sites, and you'll be able to get filters for those.
So all right, filters, but also how do you collect the money? You have to get an attorney.
You're going to have to get an attorney yourself, and you're going to have to take it through the process. Right now, we just don't have those kind of dollars to support that through the Attorney General's office. Nevada, like most states in the United States right now, is hurting so much for dollars. We just can't put together the kind of force that would have to do that.
Okay, in the last session, the DUI bill went down in flames. This time, it's likely to go through, correct? Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of money.
Unfortunately, we're going to be looking at the money question in big time. Assemblyman Menendo from Clark County has sponsored it now for the last 5 sessions. We've dealt with it in various issues. I'm very, very hopeful that it will go through, but without it, we'll of course lose these federal dollars.
Is gaming opposing it this time, or the casinos?
Nor did they oppose it last time. The gaming industry has really kind of stayed out of this issue for some time, at least the last 3 sessions. I've not had any contact from anybody there who was terribly concerned about how this was going to move along. What I think has kept it out, quite frankly, is just the fear of what's going to happen in our own prisons, how much it's going to add to the prison. Most of the people who are repeat offenders in this area, which are the people who are the felons who go to prison, are well over the 0.10.
And this lowers it to 0.08.
And this lowers it to 0.08. So the number of people that are going to be caught in this threshold is going to be very, very minuscule. At least we believe, those of us who support this idea. So
we really don't have a choice, though. I mean, we're going to lose millions of dollars in federal funding if we don't pass this.
And there's a great fear, of course, Sam, that we will we will pick up additional prisons, so that how much will be moved from here to there in terms of
so
cost.
So it'll cost us more as far as...
How will the cost balance out? But yes, it's the loss of highway funds here.
Okay, medical malpractice is going to come before you.
Absolutely. Again.
Do you feel like you want to process the bills, or do you feel like your special session addressed the issue?
Well, I felt that the special session, put the cap in $350,000, and with somebody who had shown negligence as a way out, so that you could be able to get beyond that cap. Of course, before that legislation had even dried, doctors began to be concerned about that. Not being identical to the California plan. We removed what I consider to be one of the really smart things that Nevada had done, the medical screening panels. Now some physicians are saying we need the medical screening panel back, and they want there to be a blanket, as the petition does. So I guess we'll end up having to look at it in some fashion to make it to fit. But I thought what we did in the special session was a really good first step, and of course we're all disappointed in the insurance.
Chairman, the bell is ringing. We're out of time. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Okay.
We'll be back after this break, after this timeout. Go get some milk.
Take a break and treat the family to breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Tamarack Junction. Enjoy pasta night on Wednesdays, Mexican on Thursdays, and seafood on Fridays. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amani Ranch Parkway.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of elk roofing products for any type of residential roof. With an elk roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
We've loosened our machines. We've given you the Gold Dust West Gold Rush Club, Reno's best slot club. You can win lots of jackpots. Play longer. Your points will add up faster than you think. Yeah, we're loose and we're not screwing around. See you at the Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV parks.
At Tamarack Junction, you can take advantage of fabulous food around the clock. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, give the oven and yourself a rest. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amani Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And time for the Pundits section. Today, Andy Barbano joins us from the Sparks Tribune, Mary Lau with the Nevada Retail Association, and Washoe County District Attorney Dick Gammick. Pleasure to have you all here. First, Ande Engleman is doing a little clarification for us.
Yes, yesterday we talked about, and in the past we've talked about, a report from the Legislative Counsel Bureau having to do with medical malpractice numbers and so forth. That report was issued by one researcher at the Legislative Counsel Bureau. The numbers come from the Board of Medical Examiners. They are not, it is not information that's put out technically by the Legislative Counsel Bureau. All righty, let's move on. Mary, let's start out with you here. News today that the governor has a simplified tax plan going. The bat tax suddenly drops from $300 to $80. Are we making sense here?
I can't make sense of any of this stuff that's going on. No, we're not making sense at this time. It just seems that every time something doesn't work and doesn't come together, then we get another plan or another trial plan. We haven't seen anything yet. This one was in writing as far as the short-term, what's termed bridge revenues, which is not something that can be passed. You can't start something as a bridge and then expect it to go away midstream. Joke is bridge over the River Kwai kind of thing.
No, it's a bridge over troubled waters.
There you go. But you know, it's fine. Okay, so we're making another adjustment because we found out the first plan won't work. let's get something concise on the table where everybody can talk about it, everybody participates, and come up with stuff that will work. You know,
it's rather shocking that everyone who favors the governor's tax plan talks about a year was spent in hearings rigging this thing just the way Mike Sloan and Mandalay Resorts wanted it. Why didn't they have a bill on day one? Where's the bill? Where's the action? Where's the beef? This is showing all the signs of the typical legislative strategy for chaos at the end of the session, so the lawmakers have to vote on something they have no idea what they're voting on.
They're not going to do that.
Which I'm hoping for, because I'm hoping for an absolute legislative and governmental meltdown that will cause 2, 3, or 4 extra special sessions with real focus on these issues, because that's the only way you ever get anything done in this goofy
Dick,
state.
that's not going to happen, is it? The governor's got a plan.
I envy anyone that's in the governor's position, or not envy him, excuse me, that's a wrong word. Totally.
You want the job?
I totally feel for somebody that's in the governor's position, because this is a multi-headed dragon, multi-headed dragon, that every time you see any kind of proposal come up, there's always the naysayers, there's the supporters, there's everything else, and it's a very difficult issue. I don't know where this is going to come out.
Yeah, but there needed to be a bill on day one. After all this work and all this public money, where the heck was the bill? It hasn't been there. It's still not there. We're still playing the shell game.
Okay, Andy, there's a report coming out today, the press conference maybe about an hour ago. Tell us the details.
Well, I don't have the details,
All
but
right,
as
tell us
I,
what you know.
as I understand
Tell us some
it-
good rumors. That's
Yeah,
even
right,
better.
right,
We've
right.
got a lot of those.
The Resort Association did a study where they went to the 8 western states and looked at the retail chains, and the bottom line is that the prices, with it, give or take a few cents, are all about the same in all 8 states. The point being that it doesn't matter how high the taxes are, the prices are going to stay the same. But I put it to you, Mary and Dick and Andy, that this, of course, has to do only with chains and doesn't affect local businesses.
Absolutely. This doesn't even hold water, because you can go and pick certain categories of items that are the same. You can pick categories of items that aren't the same. Statistics can be used for anything that you want to prove whatever point you want.
You know, I'm sure this Mr. Gammick is no expert on this one, but as I recall, there used to be something called a fair trade law that held water, that said that the manufacturer could dictate to the retailer, if you want my stuff in your store, you will sell it at no lower than this price. That's pretty much how Arco sells its gasoline these days. But if you went to a series of stores and bought 10 fair traded items to where the manufacturer says the price will be no more than 3 cents either way, anywhere in the country it's sold, or your store doesn't get my product, be pretty easy to rig a consumer legislation by consumer shopping.
The dragon just had another head on it, that's all I can say.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know that that applies anymore. I mean, I've not heard that in the 20-some years I've been involved
Arco
in
gets
this.
away with it
well,
with their,
Arco, yeah,
with their
that's
gasoline marketing.
different.
You know, read my investigative series at NevadaLabor.com on how oil pricing is oligopolistic and rigged. And if Arco has developed a master strategy that's held up under antitrust investigation to rig the price of retail gasoline, that is a tremendous profit machine, and the consumers have no way out.
And if somebody from Arco wants to come on and discuss this and explain why that's not the
I
case,
would love to
we
get
have them
my
come on.
jaws on them.
Okay,
I'd like a piece of that one myself.
Okay, Mr. Gammick. Okay, Bernie Anderson is talking about if we lower the blood alcohol level to 0.08, that there's a balancing act here between the money that we'll be getting from the federal government to build roads and highways and the cost of putting more people in prison. Are you concerned about this?
No, because I think time will tell in this area, Sam. We're talking 0.08 to 0.10. Before they go to prison, they either have to commit substantial bodily harm, kill someone, or it's got to be a third time or more in 7 years right now. That's another bill that's in there. But the 0.08 to 0.10, one, isn't going to be that many people getting arrested for that area, and number two, I don't think there's going to be that many people involved in the felony system, which would be the prison system. I used to be pretty ambivalent about this myself, saying, why are we lowering it just 2 notches? I mean, what's that going to do? But you know, you think about it, especially after you deal with victims' families enough, if we save 1 life because we've done that, we just made a fortune.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say this law passes now. Would a person to be busted under the new rules have to go through a new series of DUI busts, or would it just take one more if you've already got 2?
They already have 2 in 7 years. It just take 1 more, Andy. And then the one where the effect is going to come on the prisons is the other bill that's in there that says once a felon, always a felon. When you get your 3 times, you become a felony, or you kill somebody and become a felon. Whether it's 7 years or 20 years or whatever down the road, you get it again, you're going to stay a felon. That's the one that's going to have the impact, because those people will be going back to prison rather than starting over again.
Okay, we got 30 seconds. Tell us about Sierra Pacific Power.
There's a report out from an expert in New England called the Studness Report that says management needs to be changed at Sierra Pacific Power.
We'll be right back after this timeout on Nevada Newsmakers.
If you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club. Year after year voted the best place for sushi. 11 chefs on staff to serve you. Better ingredients for consistent high quality. And lots of room, so bring your friends. Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
Feel it, the magic is everywhere. The action, the style, the food, the flair. Play with us, stay with us in Reno, say El Dorado. And live the excitement. El Dorado, Reno shining star. Live the excitement.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today, because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, consistently voted Reno's best buffet by locals. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
So going back to what Bernie Anderson was talking about, are people really, if they get spam mail, are going to start actually hiring an attorney and fighting with people, themselves paying for it? I don't see it.
If they can make money, if you can make $500 profit and your attorney still gets paid, you can find an attorney to take the case. Sure, people will do it.
All right. Probably the most powerful non-elected person in the state will be on the air tomorrow.
That's correct. He represents Washoe County, R.J. Reynolds. It's all Harvey Whittemore.
And it'll all be on tomorrow's Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to go over there and see if we can silence Andy Barbano.
Impossible.